Hello everyone, Vapes here, and it's time for me to sort of explain and beg as to why I've not been, well, doing reviews for quite a long while. There's a huge ass story, and it's me begging for money. So, funding, why should you give me anything? Let me explain. This is a long story, and I don't know, let's see how I do. Right, since September 2016 I've been very unwell. It started off as a persistent headache. Multiple trips to the GP resulted in an increase in painkillers and even referrals to accident and emergency hospital. It started off as an ear infection and tonsillitis, so an ear spray and antibiotics for a week were prescribed. The unusual thing about this though was the headache. It was very persistent and wasn't stopping even with painkillers. After the week and still in pain, another trip to the GP was prescribed cocodamol and ibuprofen. Cocodamol is a bit stronger than paracetamol. These tablets were had slightly helped in pain, but I was starting to show difficulty in walking straight and starting to wobble, and my eyesight were getting rather blurry on my one side. It was very weird. I contacted a GP by telephone and was referred to go into AOE, accident emergency again, to see if they can help. I went and was first seen by a nurse who gave me codeine, which is a very strong tablet, which definitely helped with the pain, and then I was seen by a hospital GP. He tested me and diagnosed this. It was looking like cluster headaches, and that I was to be prescribed specific painkillers to help just for that. I was switched to another department where I was told there was nothing they can do to prescribe. I need to get referred to another department by my own GP. So yeah, the hospital GP helped, saying it's this, you need this medication. They send me to the place to get it, and they're like, no, we can't get you, so go back home, go to your own GP, get him to refer you to the hospital for another department for him to get you that medication. Yeah, wonderful that. Right, where was I? I'm reading this by the way. Right. The difficulty here is that my memory started to get worse, easily forgetting what I'm being told. Even literally, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, say a sentence, and then what number did I say? I completely forgot. So, yeah, things were getting bad then. I then contacted my GP and told him I was able to remember about the referral, at least, and he said it wasn't required yet and to go pick up a prescription he made for some atenolol. Yeah. Which after a few days didn't do anything to help whatsoever, and the pain had returned. The painkillers I had stopped helping the pain. I made an emergency appointment for my GP to see what they could do, and I was simply messed around. Since it's not a booked appointment, it's a random GP that I get to see, not my own dedicated one. And this one didn't decide to help, and in fact claimed I was just depressed and I should join a group. So yeah, I'm there in pain, in agony, and they suggested I'm depressed. So I left in pain. A few days later, I attended my appointment for a fasting blood test to see if I was diabetic. When I was in the chair having my arms checked for veins, I was very tired and my head was nodding up and down, and the nurse refused to do the blood test and passed me on to a GP. And the best way to show that it was more in pain, like, you know, doing that sort of thing, or being a crackhead and withdrawal. Yeah, that. Because of that, she refused to test my blood. I explained everything to this GP, yet again not my own, some other one, and he tested my eyes and came up with the idea something was very wrong with my vision, which there was, but there was a lot more to that. By this time, half of my eyes were not able to see, and I was sent to A&E again. And the best way to explain that is, most confusingly, is imagine half of your vision on the right side decides to go. So the left eye, half of it on the right goes, and same on the right eye. But it doesn't vanish. It's not like just black. It's almost like it's that blurry. You can see the colour of whatever you're looking at, but it's not defined. It's the weirdest thing was like looking outside, seeing birds flying around. You'd see them on your left eye, and poof, they'd vanish. Then they'd appear on your right eye and vanish again. Intriguing, but definitely not worth having. Right, let's carry on. And this time I was seen by a vision doctor who didn't see any problems with my eyes whatsoever. And all he could do is prescribe me some codeine 30mg tablets, so at least a painkiller. They were fantastic in removing the pain, but the side effects of difficulty sleeping and constipation was annoying at times, and that's all down to codeine. Yeah, right. And then everything was aiming at being close to headaches or even diabetes now, because the blood test was going to say if it was or wasn't. 2 weeks later, my vision was still very poor and becoming worse. I went to a local pharmacy that provided a diabetes test and had one done. My sugar level was seen as low. I was told to go to the doctors for yet another fasting blood test. The nearest appointment wasn't until the week after I booked it in then that day. A few days later, I became very dizzy and difficult in moving. My partner rang 111, which is the not so emergency number, and getting help, and they sent an ambulance, which was sent round. They performed several tests, and my sugar level then was 2.7, which is quite low, and recommended I go with them to hospital. Once I got there with them, I was taken to a department where I had to stay overnight, and now my sugar levels checked every so many hours. I was unable to sleep at all. I was awake all day and night while I was kept at that hospital overnight. It was very boring, at least. Couldn't stay that still either. It was try lying down and just fidgeting and having to get back up and walk around, that sort of thing. The next day the doctor came and checked all my results, explaining it's not showing I have diabetes, and requested a family background of who had it. I was simply let free and went home and finally managed to sleep in a decent bed, at least. So yeah, that was a whole day wasted, as that doctor didn't care. About the other issues, my vision, dizziness, walking. No, my sugar level's fine, go away. That's how I was treated. Right. The results from my blood test came a week after to show no issues at all. However, the problems increased. Intense head pain when lying down, so I was not able to sleep even at home. Appetite was gone, so I wasn't able to eat much. I was so tired and in pain daily, all I could do is try to sleep and hope waking up is going to solve it. If I finally get to dream, fall asleep. This continued until December, where it became, worse. I was being randomly sick for no reason, unable to stomach food or even medicine there. My vision was becoming that blurry and I was stumbling all over, not able to walk straight. It became so bad my partner rang for emergency ambulance, 999. Even my memory was affected. I wasn't even sure where I was or even knowing how old I was. And that's something I actually got told, because I don't really remember much of that part. Well, pretty much I was asked how old I am and I said I was 23. No, I'm 32. Right. I was taken down to the local hospital in Chesterfield, that's where I live, where a CRT scan was performed and a massive brain tumour. I'll try and edit this video to actually show you this picture, but I don't know if I'm that good. It certainly wasn't a cluster headache, as I thought. It was a brain tumour. The nurse was almost in tears as she showed it me and told me I was to be emergency ran to Sheffield Hallamshire Hospital, which is a much bigger, better hospital, in a city, not a town. I was pretty shocked, but at least out of pain. But yeah, it is weird, that picture, if you do get to see it. After going to the new hospital throughout the morning, I was still unable to sleep, but felt comfortable and out of pain. The next day I had an MRT scan, which are big, massive, noisy things. And then the next day was surgery. Yeah, at least that was decent and gained some sleep. They just inject a needle, boom, you're asleep. So what happened after that? Waking up with a tight head cover, up on head, and covered in wires with more than enough needle injections was a surprising state to wake up to. Yeah, there was needles going in back of my hand, wrists, all over, pretty much everywhere. Just like wired up. So let's see where I am. Waking up with tight head over, covered in wires with more than enough needle injections was a surprising state to wake up to. Right, okay. It took over a week after surgery for me to gain enough health to return home, which surprisingly was quite fast from what they said, which I was so happy to do and be able to rest and see my 3 kids, because a week without seeing your kids is just awful. So what's the after effects of surgery? Well, here's the fancy explanation found I found a description of what it is, so let me read it to you and hopefully you might make sense of it. Right, there's semantic memory, not being able to describe and give meaning to our world. For example, naming a city or describing what a cat is. Yeah, very odd. Episodic memory, not remembering specific events and experiences you have lived through, such as what happened at a relative's birthday. It's like a massive memory, just boom, gone. Even words you want to say it, you know it's there in your mind, but you can't say it. It was disturbingly annoying. Retrograde amnesia, loss of memories formed before you had brain tumour treatment, such as a few days before, and well, throughout history really. Okay, let's try this. Anterograde amnesia. My English is bad, that's the only language I know. Difficulty remembering memories formed after you had brain tumour or treatment. Not so severe, I'd say it was mostly the first few days of waking up. Was that drugged up and hallucinating and all sorts on what they gave me? Yeah, anything doctor said to you, you know, a few seconds later, you're like, what was that person doing talking to me? Dysphasia. You forget the beginning of what is being said. Have difficulty understanding if there is a background noise or several people speaking at once. Or being able to describe an object but not name it. That still affects me as well. You'll see something and think, oh, what is it now? That sort of thing. But a lot worse than usual. Cognitive impairment. Thinking speed may be slower, making it more difficult to keep up with conversations. Reaction times may be slower. Hopefully this is slightly improved now since when I wrote this. But it's still a bit there, a bit effective. Maybe I'm just still knackered really, but yeah. Vision and perception. Difficulties recognizing objects, people, words or sounds, such as recognizing a pen on a cluttered desk. Yeah, eye vision can still be a bit of an issue, but at least I've got full vision again. It's just taking time to notice the whole thing. You know, like you're looking for your pen on your desk, you see everything else, and then oh, it was right in front of me the whole time. That's a problem. And as terrible as it sounds, hopefully through time they'll repair and things will improve. Alright, the much worse part now. Move forward 2 weeks and the appointment is ready to find out what the tumour was. And it was a anaplastic gemistotic astrocytoma. I think I've said that right. A rare cancer that 1 in 5,000 can get and is very persistent in growing. And mine was said to be as big as a golf ball or an egg, but thankfully not spreading. And if you've seen the picture that I put up, it's big. It was actually pushing into my eye, so that was what was disturbing the vision between both of them. I'm 1 in 5,000 that has brain tumours as well, so yay for having something rare, I guess. Shame I'm not lucky and winning the lottery instead. It might look scary, it actually didn't hurt that much at all. Thankfully oh, okay. So yeah, we're moving on now to if I can get a picture up of the actual clips on here. You know, where they actually dug into my brain. So, as I've got this on GoFundMe, there's a picture of that there. And we'll go, while it might look scary, the clips, it actually didn't hurt that much at all. Thankfully the clips were removed after a week and a half of surgery, after surgery. But it certainly went high up on my head, so yeah. If we can get it visible now. Still inflamed. It's like much puddles of blood just still trapped there. So, the surgery. It managed to remove a lot of the tumour, but not everything. And I require chemotherapy and radiology in hopes of removing the last of it. Pretty much just the cells, so majority of the actual thick thing gone. But there's still some cells there, so if this can nail them, I should be okay, hopefully. If it can't, it's going to grow back. So, what? Oh yeah, and the tumour itself. It can grow, but it can't spread. There isn't another cancer anywhere in my body. This sort of tumour is what just randomly decides to go for it in your head. So I suppose I'm sort of lucky in a way that it can't spread anywhere else. It may grow and move slightly to where it was, or where it has been, but that's the worst of it. So at best, maybe they can just remove the thing again by surgery and give me more radio and chemo if it persists. There's always hope, I guess. So right, what is this video about and why am I rambling on? It's attempting to ask you to provide funding for some life goals, because really I don't really know how long I've got left. It could be 1 or 2 years at most if things do not work. So it's my way of begging for money to try and get some life goals achieved before things go, you know, that sort of thing. So right, it's also to obtain things we're just not able to afford either. So I don't have a job, no, especially can't get one now. Getting married, we're still not married. I've got 3 kids. And we've been wanting to get married for 6 years now, just never had the money to do it. And never had the free time, you know, having kids. So, what about my kids? I've got 3 of them, as I just said. Oldest is 5.5. He's in school now as well. Second is almost 2. He's a little devil. And the youngest is almost about a year old, so them 2 do get on well. Well, 2 little troublemakers, I guess. So a lot of work is needed, and it's difficult to manage the 3 of them alone, you know, as my partner will have to do if I do go. And no telling what chemotherapy and radiology is going to do to me as well, because that'll be starting on the 18th of January, and that may completely batter me to being bedbound most of the day, which I hope it doesn't. I do like to actually do stuff at least, and it'll start my vaping reviews again. Right, so there's only one last thing to say, and this will be at the top of the GoFundMe page if you go onto it. If my time is short, I would love to be able to get married to my fiance, have a honeymoon, and to be able to safely know that my fiance is going to manage in paying for a funeral, apart from, oh, just chuck me in the skin, and get rid of any remaining bills and debts which are connected to me, because if we are married then she's going to get forced to pay that off, and which won't help at all, will it? And most importantly, be able to continue supporting the kids. I'm a partner to give her some sort of nest egg to cope with it. So it's not as if we can get it and just waste all the money whatsoever. So yeah, that is it. Hope it's been entertaining, or at least you've cared. So yeah, the address to go to if you fancy just chucking money at me, which would be nice. Or just comments and saying sorry, or anything, man. It's gofundme.com/support-Graham. I'll be putting the link in the comment as well. Comments, yeah. So your memory's already going now, as it is. And yeah, that's it really. I'll not be mentioning this whatsoever in any vaping videos. Well, this is a one-time video I'm only going to do. I don't really want to push this every time, otherwise I'll just have everyone unsubscribe, and you know, listening to something like this can be depressing, I suppose. But yeah, oh well. Right, here's a cloud for you all using this RDTA box when it's not going mad. It's been constantly giving me issues of shorting, no atomizing, God knows what else, but for the past few minutes it's been working well, so it's not as bad off as I am yet. Right, anyway, I'll shut up now. Thank you for watching if you watched all this. I hope you have a good day and a good week, a good year. I forgot months now. Forget months, years back. Right, here we go. Cloud for you. Thank you. Goodbye.